The European Union is a communist organization that controls everything in Europe. This is what many people think. Actually, many people openly say it. But I'm a member of the European Parliament, so I will let you know from first hand exactly what the European Union controls. Actually, the powers of the EU are exactly laid down in the famous Treaty of Lisbon of 2007, and they are divided into three different groups. Number one, exclusive EU competences, meaning the areas that the EU has full power to legislate. The exact areas are the customs union, competitions rules, monetary policy of the euro, common commercial policy, and in the conservation in the common fisheries policy. As you can see, the real big powers of the EU are economic powers. And this makes a lot of sense because the origin of the EU is an economic alliance. Probably the easiest example to illustrate this are the fines that the EU gave to companies like Google and Meta. These companies broke the EU competitions rules, so they got fined directly by the EU, and no individual member states was involved in these fines. Number two, share competences, meaning those areas which both the EU and the national governments can legislate, of course without overlapping with each other. The exact areas are the internal market, regional policy, agriculture and fisheries, consumer protection, energy, environment, transport, humanitarian help, concerns in public health, research, and areas on freedom, security, and justice. But unlike with the exclusive competences, here the EU institutions cannot do whatever they want, as they legislate together with member states. A clear example to illustrate this are the environmental laws. The EU creates laws that lay down the minimum environmental rules that member states should follow. But national governments can create tougher laws on top of this for the unique necessities of their countries. Number three, finally, the supporting competencies, meaning those areas only the national governments can legislate, but the EU can help to support, coordinate, or complement if needed. The exact areas are health, industry, culture, tourism, education, youth, sport, civil protection, and administrative cooperation. This group is quite clear. If you notice how different the educational system and the health system are between each member state, this is because each country decided on most of these topics, making them fit their national needs. I believe that is very important for EU citizens to know what the EU can or cannot do in order to judge how we can push the EU leaders into doing actually their job. But I'm curious to ask you guys a question. Why do you think most people in the EU don't know actually what EU can do or cannot do for them? How did this big gap between the institutions and the people happen? Let us all know in the comments below.